Hello, America. Dave Hodges here, host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show that is freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Our mission here again is to support God, family, country, and all three are under threat right now. The kind of society that we're in, it's finis pax, maybe. I hope not. But Trump left China with his tail between his legs. He got his butt kicked, and I don't think any president could have gone in there under these circumstances and done any better. And Iran's defeating the US simply by outlasting us. And of course, we've got a situation now where the data centers are wreaking havoc upon America. And we need to recognize what a data center is. It's a police state control surveillance grid, period. And it ties into the flock cameras and all that nonsense. And we'll get into that. We'll start connecting dots in later segments today. But Phoenix and Las Vegas are in big trouble. Some people are actually writing that they are doomed. I think that's too strong a term in the short term, but I think in the near midterm, no pun intended, and long term, absolutely these cities are in trouble unless we change course. We're going to explain all that to you right here on the Common Sense Show. Again, we are freeing America one enslaved mind at a time, and we need your help. I just want to take you to something that will free your body. And I owe my life to these products, as you know. You have the Nanosoma liquid spray. 5 sprays once a day is maintenance dose. It's tasteless, odorless. You just do it and you're done. But in my case, when I had the stripped lung linings from RSV that wasn't responding to anything, Scotty Sachs said, "Hey, Dave, do this." And I did that. And I used it all the time, every hour on the hour. Within a week, I was walking up those stairs. I couldn't get up. And then I was also now back in the gym in a month. But then the joint pain started back, the stuff that made me a little more inactive. And so I started rubbing the Nanosoma gel on my affected areas, shoulder, knee. Now, the rate of improvement there from the growing of the pluripotent stem cells varies a little bit. For me, it was 6 to 8 weeks, and I noticed big change at 6 weeks. At 8 weeks, I can do anything I want. I still have the shadow memories of the pain, though. It's kind of interesting. You don't really totally shed that. And I think, okay, we got knee extensions, and I know that's going to hurt. And it doesn't hurt, but it's hard to shake that pain. I'll share that with you. This doesn't fix you psychologically, but it does help the growth of pluripotent stem cells, which actually starts to do the repair. Then there's the skin cream for cuts and burns. Together, it's the trifecta, the starter pack, 15% off. Go to iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. In these troubled times when, getting supplies to market could soon be a problem, that includes your medications. Every medicine cabinet needs to have these three products. iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. Well, let's take a look at the dual whammy that's hitting Vegas and Phoenix. Let's talk about extraneous things that we probably have no control over, although we're exacerbating one of them. In the case of Vegas, they have a fault line approaching, and it's approaching in terms of geology at an exponential rate. I haven't seen an estimate on when this is going to affect Vegas, but I've already been told a big quake will affect Vegas right now. But if that fault line begins to enter into the Vegas metropolitan area, they're going to have a huge problem with this fault line if it became active. And it's an offshoot of the fault line that's connecting Cascadia Zone with the San Andreas Fault. Ooh, could Vegas be beachfront property? I've actually read accounts about this. Now, I don't jump off the bridge every time I read something that projects some kind of disaster, but this is a problem. Now, in Phoenix, the problem is geological as well. The first problem, and that's the fact that the Colorado River is sinking and it's really not easily retrievable. And we're losing water volume in places like the Hoover Dam, Lake Mead, and severe water shortages could be a problem. Vegas still has, they don't have a lot, but they don't have much of a margin for error for water shortages. And both cities are growing. The demand for water is greater from the regular population. But there is another factor that comes into this that's very, very disturbing. Data centers. Yesterday, we talked to you about Lake Tahoe, where 50,000 customers were told by their electric company that you're going to have to find another source of power because the data centers need our energy. We also talked about a water issue in remote rural areas in Arkansas, and the same thing. Their water reservoirs are being drained dry. Here in Phoenix, with the data centers going up all over the city, up in the Northwest region, massive data centers going in, and it's draining the surrounding well water, and residents are complaining of bad water service. Don't even know about the pollution. The data centers are a scourge. They're taking massive amounts of water from cities that are in arid deserts. They have no recourse, and then exacerbated in Arizona by the Colorado River condition, these cities could become uninhabitable. And this isn't Dave Hodges saying this. This is when I read about geologists, and they're saying, hey, we're not looking at this. We've got a lot of unplanned industrial development, unplanned growth, and it's a real and present danger to these two cities. If we continue down this path, it's some undetermined year that I can't put a finger on. But geologists are saying sooner rather than later. And I've asked a geologist who won't go on the record because they teach at a local university. I said, are we talking 5 years? Probably not that soon before it's widespread. 10 years, danger zone. That's what I've been told. I don't think anyone really knows. Here's what I do know, though. We're funding data centers with higher utility bills, higher water bills, and now we're looking at water shortages because of the data centers. Why? Why are we funding these data centers with our money and our resources that belong to the people? Are the politicians being greased to that level to where they're ignoring their people? And I want to step back just for a second because Revelations 13 addresses the mark of the beast, which is the police state surveillance grid, be part of it. This is part of it. We are funding, in my humble opinion, I believe we're funding our own demise. Data centers are not innocent, neutral entities to promote the welfare and development of technology. They are about gathering data. That's why they're called data centers. What data are they collecting? Well, stay tuned because we're going to walk you through some of this in later segments, and then we'll tie it back to this. It's just that Vegas, Lake Tahoe, rural areas of Arkansas, and my home area of Maricopa County in Arizona, we are in serious, serious danger. Most people don't put down their roots thinking 5 years ahead. They think this is my forever home. It may not be. I'm Dave Hodges. This is the Common Sense Show. We will see you back here again next time.